The Season 5 Reloaded update is finally live, and in this video, I'm giving you guys some dummy-proof loadouts. I'm talking about anybody, no matter your skill level, can pick these guns up and use them and be just fine. I'm giving you guys some of the best time to kill and zero recoil loadouts, so let's jump into it. This season meta is a lot closer than what a lot of people realize, and now that they buffed a few guns, for instance, the Pulimont, this thing got a fire rate buff, and if you just take like the regular build without the conversion kit, look at the recoil. Like I'm not even holding on the analog stick right now. It just stopped moving. This thing might be the #1 meta behind the STG, if not better than the STG. Keep an eye out on this. I really think this is going to be a lot of people's favorite gun this season. Next up, we have the Bal 27. This gun surprisingly got buffed, and it was already, meta season 5 after that huge buff it got. But a lot of these guns, bro, they just don't move anymore. The Quartermaster Suppressor helps out a lot with that, but just in general, any AR you see in this video is not gonna move. Next up, we have the TAC Eradicator. Now this one got a pretty big buff at the beginning of season 5. It didn't get touched this season. And also, if you guys want to know what guns got buffed and nerfed exactly, stay until the end of this video. I go over the whole list. But yeah, once again, a no recoil AR or LMG that is really good, high bullet velocity, damage range, everything you need for any of these guns you're gonna get. Next up, we have the MTZ 556. And now keep in mind that there is no particular order. You can rock any gun on you that you see on this list and you'll be just fine. There is no 1 through 5. But once again, no recoil AR. That really reminds me of like the M13 back in Warzone 1. The MTZ 556 reminds me of that a lot. But now the #1 option I think still is going to be the STG. Like they nerfed it, but they barely did anything to it. Like this thing is going to be a problem still, and I'm pretty sure they did that on purpose because the STG is extremely popular and they want it to continue to be popular. So now let's talk about the top 5 close range meta for season 5.5. Now honestly, it hasn't really changed much since season 5. So to start off, we have the Superior 46. Now this is still a good SMG. I don't need to shoot this for you guys to know that it doesn't have any recoil. It has crazy movement speed. Like you can't go wrong with that. Just be careful because you might get outgunned by a few of these other SMGs you see on this list. Speaking of, we have the Striker 45. Now this gun and this build is something I've been using a lot lately, and I've been having a lot of fun with it because it doesn't have that much recoil. Like you can knock down that last target no problem with this gun. And then if you were to rock this camo that you see here, your iron sights glow so much that you don't really need a sight on it. So next up, what we have is the Lockman Shroud. Now this thing has, I believe, still the second fastest time to kill right now, and the recoil is not bad. The only thing I say be careful about is the muzzle smoke, but other than that, this is a solid SMG. I'm actually surprised this thing got buffed this season. Next up, now we have the Static HV. Now this actually did get nerfed, but I don't think it got nerfed to the point to where you're not going to want to use it anymore. Like this is still a really good SMG. Nice movement speed, recoil, and time to kill will still all be there for this season. So you don't have to throw this gun away just yet. Now, lastly, to finish off the close range meta, we have the Reclaimer 18. Honestly, it'd be misleading if I didn't tell you that this is one of the best close range options in the game. This is easily a 2-shot kill within close quarters. Like, just trust me on this, bro. I've died to this gun so many times, and majority of those gunfights were never close because they usually always get the first shot off on me. So let's just go over the patch notes and you guys can see what got buffed, what got nerfed. So starting off, we got a Bal 27 buff, DG 56 buff, not really gonna matter. FR 556 buff, not gonna matter. The Holger 556, this is gonna make a difference because this gun was meta last season, it's meta now. The MCW got another buff in season 5. It got buffed in the beginning, but now even better. STG got a nerf. I don't really think that's gonna make a difference. It's still gonna be the best AR in the game. M16 conversion kit got a buff. M16 conversion kit is slept on heavily. That thing is actually pretty good. Now we got a small buff to the BOSB. I don't really think that's gonna make that big of a difference. MTZ 762 kit got a buff, but that thing is terrible. SOA Subverter got a buff. This was a sleeper AR this season. I still don't think it's like meta, but it's up there. Rival 9 got a small buff for damage range. The Static HV got a nerf. Now it got a nerf to damage range and damage values, but I still think this might be the best SMG still, just because of how good it was before. And this nerf isn't really all that big to me. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be that bad. Then we got a Striker buff. This is definitely the second best SMG in the game right now, potentially third behind the Lockman Shroud. And speaking of the Lockman Shroud, it actually got buffed by like 2 meters or 1 meter of damage range. Isn't really gonna make that big of a difference. Then we have the pulley mod that got nerf. Actually, no, it got buffed. And now actually looking back on this, I didn't notice that they increased the fire rate, so this is actually going to be a sleeper gun this season, and it might actually even be meta. The Jack RPK Jack Cataclysm got a nerf. This is recoil, hip fire spread, and flinch. No damage values got nerfed, so this is still going to be a really good 2 to 3 shot kill weapon. Next up we have the DM56, got a damage buff, or damage range buff, my bad. MCW 6.8 got a fire rate increase, so that's going to increase the time to kill. Yeah, so this one overall got a buff to it. And now when it comes to the handguns, they all got buffed for, so every handgun you're going to see, so we got the P890, the, I want to say this is the Deagle, the X12, Basilisk, F-Tac Siege, GS Magna, 9mm Damon, X13 Auto. Those all got buffed if you rock the akimbo attachment. So basically you'll have better hip fire spread. You won't lose as much damage range, but that's everything that got buffed and nerfed in this season update. And now you guys finally know the meta. So if you found this video helpful in any way, make sure you drop a like on this video and possibly share it with a friend that needs help with their class setups.